Howdy, and welcome to another episode of Piano TV. So today we are going to learn a chorale by Bach, which was from his collection, the Anna Magdalena Notebook, which is a collection of short pieces that he wrote to teach his wife how to play piano, and her name was Anna Magdalena, go figure. So in this video, we are going to do a little backstory, and I'm going to walk you through, I'll play the piece for you so you can hear it too, and the sheet music is below so you can learn it. And then we'll just look through some of the trickier aspects of the piece so that it all makes sense when you play it. Alright, so a backstory on what a chorale is. So a chorale is a 4-part vocal composition using the soprano, alto, tenor, and bass ranges, and it can be more than 4 people singing, but there's always going to be 4 different parts. You might be familiar with this if you ever did like jazz band or any of those like fancy vocal groups in high school. Bach wrote a whole bunch of chorales. We're talking like hundreds of chorales, and a lot of his really famous ones were part of his cantatas. So one of Bach's jobs as a musician was to perform a cantata at every Sunday church service. So he oftentimes would write a brand new cantata for every Sunday mass. And where a cantata isn't just like a little song. It's like an entire huge multi-movement work. He was like a ridiculous powerhouse. He was a power horse and powerhouse. So this piece that we're learning today was originally written as a chorale composition. And I've linked to like a full 4-part harmony version below that you should definitely check out, as this is what our piano arrangement is derived from. So Bach basically took this chorale and simplified it onto piano for his wife for the Anna Magdalena Notebook. The name of this chorale is, and forgive my very poor pronunciation, it's German, Schaff's mit mir Gott, which means, and I very roughly translate it to, you are with me, God. So to any of my German viewers, if you want to, in the comments, give me maybe a better pronunciation and or interpretation of what that actually means, that would be super helpful, because Google Translate is, Anyway, let's listen to this on the piano. So we're going to take a look at the music and analyze it a little bit. So you can see after a couple lines, we've got some repeats here. And then later down in the song, do-do-do-do-do, in the 3rd and 4th line, we've got more repeats, which is cleanly dividing the song into 2 sections, which is a really strong indication that this piece is in binary form or 2-part form. So check out the previous video. I'll link it on the screen, linking to binary form for more details on what that means. But the least you need to know is that at the beginning, we will call these first 2 lines section A, and then later down the line, line 3 and 4, we will call that section B. And they do contrast a little bit, but they're not dramatically different. They're pretty similar. They've got like some consistent rhythm patterns and stuff like that. So part A and B, though different, aren't crazy different. So I deliberately marked the sheet music really, really sparsely, so there's no dynamic indications, but that doesn't mean to not play without dynamics. It just means that I want you to think about where to put them and to choose your own volume adventure. A lot of Baroque music is written like this, like with no indication on volume or anything, so you kind of have to use your own best judgment. So this song, as for the key signature, let's just take a moment to figure this out. There's no sharps and flats. So that's either telling us that it's in the key of C major or it's minor twin A. All right, so if you look at the starting 2 notes, it should be pretty obvious. You have a C in the left hand and a C in the right hand, which you can't really get much more obvious than that as to what key you're starting in. To get the most out of this piece, you want to play it kind of like you'd sing it. So keep it flowing and melodic, with natural rises and falls of volume that you might get if you were singing it. So basically, you don't want to play it on a flat plane with all the notes being completely equal in weight. You want to play with a little bit more movement, with depth and dimension. So in practical terms, it's kind of hard to explain, but just when you're playing, just try to make sure that your notes all kind of have a different weight, a different volume. Maybe you start quiet and get a little louder, hold back. that it has a little bit of shape. So this is something I didn't put in the sheet music, but at the end of a line or phrase in the sung chorale version, there would be a fermata over the notes, which basically just means to pause a little longer than the beat indicates. So instead of just at the very end there, carrying on quickly to the second line, I like to do a little bit of a hesitation, that fermata. Maybe it ends up being like 2 or 3 beats, to allow the melody to breathe. And it also distinguishes the separate phrases. Now, just a quick note on trills. So these squiggly lines, there's 2 in this song. They can mean a number of things, but they always involve some sort of decorative function. So in this case with this song, we're going to go back and forth between a couple of notes quickly because it sounds neat and it's more exciting than just pressing a single A. You'll see this again a lot in Baroque music especially. All right, so here is that trill in slow motion. So you'll see that I'm alternating the upper note, which is a B, with the written note, which is an A, for 3 full turns. So 1, 2, 3, before pausing and then doubling up on that final note. So when you play it up to speed, you get 3, and then a hesitation, and then da-dum. The second trill in the song at the very end is very, very similar. It's just on different notes. Again, you're alternating that upper note, the E, with the written note D for 3 turns. All right, so now it's your turn. So as I mentioned earlier, the piece can be found linked below, so you can print it off or put it on your tablet and practice it that way. And as I also mentioned earlier, definitely check out the vocal version so you kind of know where this is coming from. I feel like knowing how it's sung really helps in being able to express it without just like playing flatly. But we already talked about all that. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you later with more music and more piano stuff. Oh my god, the screen went blank!